We have people reaching out and asking us, what can we do when we come visit Fort Collins in Northern Colorado? And we send them an itinerary of sorts of things to do, specifically kind of catered around who they are and what they're about. And also we had a client closing on a house that is just gonna be out here for a few extra days after they close and before they move in, and asked me, what should I do? I'm gonna go to Rocky Mountain National Park. I might go up to the Mishawaka. And I sent them a few ideas, but ultimately it got me thinking of, hey, what are things to do in Fort Collins, Colorado and around the area that are absolutely worth exploring? So we built a list of 22 things to do in Fort Collins, which is by no means exhaustive, but just some ideas to get that brain going. So if you make a trip, if you're considering moving out here, these are things that you can refer back to and explore. Fill that day. Don't just go sit at a bar and watch TV. While you could absolutely do that at Lucky Joe's and enjoy a St. Patrick's Day parade type deal, but there are other options and opportunities out there. So hopefully this list is enjoyable to you, a great reference point. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. My name is Patrick Soukup, and this is the Living in Fort Collins YouTube channel, where you come to learn everything there is to know about Fort Collins, whether you're moving to or just visiting. Now, we are licensed real estate agents in the state of Colorado. So if you're considering buying, selling, or investing in the state of Colorado, specifically the Front Range, north of Longmont, give me, my team a call, and we would love to be an asset for you and yours. That being said, let's jump into today's video, the 22 things to do in Fort Collins and Northern Colorado. Let's go. Now we're gonna break these up into different sections and themes, but starting out, number one, the first thing you should do, go visit Rocky Mountain National Park. And while it's not in Fort Collins, it's just out our back door, 45, 55 minutes away, 45 minutes to Estes, another 10, 15 minutes to Rocky Mountain National Park, but hundreds of thousands of acres of open natural forest area that is absolutely worth exploring, hundreds of miles of trails, and Rocky Mountain National Park is absolutely gorgeous. There is so much to do. Now, you do need to kind of schedule in advance and get a time slot for entry, as it doesn't necessarily allow you just kind of to go up and gain access. You do need a little bit of planning beforehand, but take a trip out to Rocky Mountain National Park, out our back door in Fort Collins. Now this one could probably take you a half day to a full day here soon enough, because the Poudre Trail is going to connect under I-25 and is essentially gonna be able to take you from Bellevue all the way to Greeley. And it's gonna take you through Fort Collins, Bellevue, Fort Collins, Timnath, Windsor, and then into Greeley. And it's gonna be a wonderful paved trail with phenomenal little stops along the way, natural areas, signage throughout, but it's gonna have a great it's gonna be northwest to southeast type trail. It's gonna take you along the Poudre, absolutely gorgeous. You know, tens of miles worth of biking from Bellevue all the way to Greeley. And there's so many different hikes around the area, Horsetooth Falls, Bobcat Ridge, Laurie State Park, but go check out Coyote Ridge Natural Area. It is good, just on the west side, just along the foothills. There's a little bit of slope up, so you kind of get a good overlook of the area, but Coyote Ridge and other natural areas, open space throughout Fort Collins and Northern Colorado. Go get lost, go hike, just quickly for a half an afternoon is all it really takes. And it's within 10 to 15 miles of Fort Collins. So super close, easy hiking all around Fort Collins in natural and open areas. Now, one of the things I talked about is the downsides of living in Fort Collins is our food scene's not great, but we do have some great options. So here are some food and bar scene type situations or beverage type situations you can go explore. The Emporium is gorgeous. It is located within the Elizabeth Hotel, downtown Fort Collins. I mean, this spot used to be, just the Armadillo, and then the Bohemian Foundation, Pat Stryker and co. basically built this world-class hotel with the Emporium. It is, in my opinion, 5 stars all the way across, and not too terribly expensive, not cheap, but definitely a good place to go have a good high-end dinner in Fort Collins. And number 5, I would be amiss if I didn't talk about the brewery capital of the United States and didn't mention our kind of the godfather of them all, New Belgium. Now you could interchange New Belgium, Odell's, Zwei Brewing, Coopersmith's, Equinox, so many different cool small breweries in town. but the lawn and patio scene at New Belgium are gonna be absolutely awesome. And again, New Belgium is, worldwide as far as how well known it is, and it is the microbrewer that really jumped onto the scene and made Fort Collins the microbrew capital, which it is. But Odell's has a phenomenal patio, but go check out New Belgium or Odell's after a ride along the Pooter Trail. You can jump right off that and just head straight to New Belgium or Odell's. And here's kind of a little funky one, but a little, gimmicky, but totally 80s pizza. It is just kind of a blast from the past. It is a museum of all things 80s, Pee Wee Herman's adventure. You've got so many different things, kind of from my childhood, which is fun to go have. The pizza's pretty good, not amazing, but it's more of the atmosphere, the scene, and the enjoyment of kind of seeing these relics from the past. And number 7, here's one that I haven't necessarily done, a guided 3-hour tour. There are tours within Fort Collins, the Ghost Tours, this 3-hour tour, there's a distillery tour, there's different tours that you can sign up for, but essentially it takes you to 5 different locations, restaurants, and then they also talk to you about some of the history of Old Town and downtown Fort Collins. But plan ahead, 3 hours, there's space for 8 people, and really of all ages, but go enjoy a 3-hour food tour in Fort Collins. And after you enjoy all that great food, that beverage, that brewery, go visit Walrus Ice Cream. 1987 it was founded. And yes, you can go to Kilwins, you can go to Ben & Jerry's and different sweets and desserts place, Rocket Fizz. But Walrus, local to Fort Collins, kind of this little hole in the wall ice cream shop, but cool little patio, and it is local Fort Collins. Go enjoy some Walrus ice cream. All right, jumping into kind of like parks, museums, just kind of things to do. And number 9, just walk around what was the imagination for Main Street Disneyland, Old Town Fort Collins. Go down Harper Golf Alley, go down and spend some time at the Exchange, down in Old Town Square, and really just enjoy the old firehouse building and some of these architectures that are wonderful. And kind of, if you've been to Disneyland, you'll be like, wow, these are kind of some very much similar buildings. And it's just a beautiful Old Town Fort Collins. And during the night, summer, there's the fountains in the middle of the square. I can't speak highly enough. Recently, it was ranked the number 4 public square in all of the United States. So go and just walk around Old Town Square you could probably do it for an entire day. Go get breakfast at Silver Grill. You can get coffee at Crooked Cup. Walk around, shop at Tula, Sierra, so many different little things to do. Lunch at Coopersmith's, dinner at the Emporium. Old Town is ultimately a place that you could spend an entire day if you wanted to. Now, number 10, the Fort Collins Museum of Discovery. Great for all ages, specifically for kiddos though. Not necessarily specifically for kiddos, but I would say if you have kiddos, this would be a great thing that you can go do. You can get a day pass, leave, come back, get lunch, come back, and enjoy, lots of different activities. The Museum of Discovery is just really great. There is an OtterBox theater there. You can see what types of movies or shows are playing and really just have time that you can go, get loose, see some different physics type situations and enjoy just an afternoon or a full day if you wanted to leave and then come back. Number 11, the gardens at Spring Creek. You could definitely go there and you can see there's a butterfly little pavilion. It's very small, but it's kind of cool. Walk around the gardens. They have different plants throughout the year. If you're here on Halloween, they've got like a pumpkin trick or treat type deal going on. They're in the holiday season, holiday lights. The gardens on Spring Creek is just absolutely wonderful. It's right near CSU. So here later on, one of the things to do is going to be walking around CSU, but if you wanted to, jump over. The gardens at Spring Creek is absolutely gorgeous. It's an 18-acre site opened up in 2004, and Fort Collins is definitely lucky to have it. Now there's 2 parks that we're going to talk about with Fort Collins, and ultimately some of our community parks in Fort Collins are absolutely wonderful. But I think the king on the hill could be Spring Canyon Park on the west side of town. It is massive and wonderful. You've got basketball courts, dog parks, a water park, you've got, water feature park. You've got a playground that is, very safe, newer type material, so you don't have to worry about your kids burning their hands on anything, but really a phenomenal park on the west side of town. Go spend an afternoon at Spring Canyon Park. And one that I used to do when I was a kid, not so much anymore, but I've heard so many fun things about it that people enjoy, is the farm at Lee Martinez Park. Go take your kids, there's a petting zoo, and there's just lots of different activities and operations. There's camps that you can sign up for, half-day camps, full-day camps throughout summer, very affordable, and just really kind of a fun thing for the kids to do. Go get exploration around these kind of farm animals at Lee Martinez Park. Now the final park is actually a park near my house, Fossil Creek Park. It is on the southeast side of town, and you could put so many different parks. Well, sorry, the second to last park is, so we're gonna talk about 3 parks, but the second to last park is gonna be Fossil Creek Park, and it's gonna be on the southeast side of town, and there are so many different parks that you could definitely put in here. You could put Twin Silos Park, you could put Roland Moore, Adora Park. There are wonderful community parks, but Fossil Creek Park, there's the ponds, there's trails. It is in and around kind of Fossil Creek. There's a woolly mammoth at the playground there. There's a rollerblading hockey rink, softball fields, a big hill that we love to go sledding on. So if you're visiting here during kind of the winter time period, go buy a cheap sled and go sledding down that Fossil Creek hill. It is absolutely fun. Huge kind of areas for barbecues, basketball courts, tennis courts, lots of different opportunities at Fossil Creek Park. And then the OG park of Fort Collins, City Park. There are lots of different things that you can do there. Throw frisbees, there's hills there, food truck rallies on Tuesday evenings during the summer, spring, basically spring to fall, softball fields, soccer practices, baseball. City Park 9 is associated at Grandview Cemetery, where a lot of my family is buried there, but it's beautiful right there. And then you just are right downtown. You can take a bike from Old Town down Mountain Avenue and you're there very quickly. You could take the trolley if you wanted to. And City Park, founded in 1912 or early 1900s, is the OG park that really makes Fort Collins special. And a lot of people enjoy. There's tons of mature landscaping. Probably that, Roland Moore and Adora Park are going to have the best mature landscaping. So if you want to get out of the sun, get yourself protected, go sit under a tree, have a picnic at City Park. Now, what about some adventures? How about number 16, kayaking or paddleboarding at Horsetooth Reservoir? Now, you can go jump on a boat if you know a friend, or go swimming, or go at one of the beaches, or really you could bike the dams if you really want a good workout. But paddleboarding at Horsetooth Reservoir is absolutely fun. It's easy to get involved with. There are rentals there available. At the North Dam, you can go there, pick those up, and the South Shore Bay, there's just lots of different areas that you can get in and active around Horsetooth Reservoir. It's about 7 miles long. Now, I'm not suggesting that you paddleboard that long, but it is a huge reservoir just west over the first ridge of Fort Collins, and really one of our premier recreation activities is Horsetooth Reservoir and Horsetooth Mountain and Horsetooth Falls, right there on our back door. And number 17's actually probably been one of my favorite recommendations as far as things to do. Now, this is mostly for those that are visiting here on either an extended week, long weekend, whatever that might be, that might not necessarily have a bike, but that would be to rent a bike from Garage, Recycled Cycles, and go explore our paved trail system. From the Power Trail, the Fossil Creek Trail, Spring Creek Trail, the Pooter Trail, Mason Trail. There are so many different trail systems that you really don't have to get on any busy roads, and you can take yours, your family, whatever, and just go get lost for, 30, 40, 50 miles, whatever you feel up to that day, and make stops and stop at Spring Canyon Park when you're on the Spring Creek Trail, or when you're taking Mason Street, you stop at Whole Foods to grab a beverage. Whatever that might be, the rent a bike and explore our paved trail systems is absolutely something you should consider. Now, what about our entertainment and attractions? Because Fort Collins, it's a smaller, metropolis, MSA, Metropolitan Statistical Area. I was doing a live the other day and I couldn't think what MSA stood for, but we are a smaller community, 180,000 people, expected to grow to 250,000 people. We will probably never have a professional sports team, but we do have semi-pro teams with the Owls and the Northern Colorado Hail, semi-pro soccer and baseball teams out at Future Legends Park in Windsor. But within the town, here are 3 different things that you could look at doing as far as entertainment. which number one, the Lincoln Center. The Lincoln Center absolutely brings some kind of, big hitters as far as comedians and plays and musicals. So explore what the Lincoln Center has to offer. There's always something going on. So get onto their website, see what shows are coming up. And if they align with when you're gonna be here, book it. It's beautiful. Have a drink, enjoy it. I know they're expanding it to add some food options there as well, but the Lincoln Center is definitely something that is fun and entertaining right in the kind of downtown CSU area. Now, just recently, my wife and I went to the CSU University Center of the Arts at CSU, and it's kind of the old Fort Collins High School building, but it's converted into, these theaters that are beautiful, state-of-the-art, right near the gardens at the Oval near CSU. So you can walk around that. There's a podcast on the Fort Collins Fellows that talks about the gardens at CSU. But the University Center of Arts at CSU has plays, dances, musicals, and just great, lineup of events. And again, they're always going on. And me and my wife were talking to each other like, we should do this more often. One of her friends was in a choir there. They actually went to Carnegie Hall and performed in New York, and then came and performed at CSU. And it was just wonderful. And it's something that is always available. And it was $25 a ticket for both of us. So for a cheap, easy, fun evening, definitely go check that out. Now here's a quick one. One of the oldest buildings in Fort Collins, and the individual who had the foresight, or at least we're thankful for today, the width of the streets, go check out the Avery House down off of Mountain Avenue. And it is just right there in Old Town. Super, super cool architecture. You can walk through it. You gotta get that scheduled, but it's a beautiful building right near St. Joe's Catholic School is where I grew up. So it's kind of a creepy house, honestly, when I was growing up as a kid seeing it. But built 1873, one of Fort Collins' first houses that still stands today. Not the oldest by any means. You gotta go check out the public library to see the oldest standing building in Fort Collins. But go check out the Avery House. Really super quick, easy, but kind of cool. Number 21, the Lyric. Go check out the Lyric. 3 screenings, and there's lots of different opportunities there, from music to theater to wedding venues. And honestly, the Lyric actually got really displaced, or I should say moved, when the Elizabeth kind of got built, and then Pat Stryker bought the Lyric building. It was this tiny little, hole in the wall building that really could fit about 20 people in for showings. But there are kind of, I would say, more off mainstream movies that are shown there, indie type films that are shown at the Lyric. Always got something going on. It's on the north side of town. College Avenue, North College Avenue, that's getting renovated and beautified. The Lyric is one of those dominoes that are falling to continue to kind of push that beautification of North College Avenue. But go check out the Lyric in North Fort Collins. And finally, number 22, we are Fort Collins, Colorado State University, Colorado, the Aggies. We are ultimately thankful for, and CSU has contributed so very much to really the foundation, the growth and stability of Fort Collins. And we just went there for the Family Housing Network kind of annual banquet, and got on there and just were looking at some of the beautiful buildings. The Nancy Richardson Design Center, brand new building, all of these wonderful structures that is Colorado State University, the brand new stadium, Canvas Stadium. If you're in town on a Saturday during fall, go catch a game there. You're absolutely gonna find tickets. It is never sold out, except for maybe when we play Wyoming, or if we've got a big foe coming into town, or Moby Madness. We had a great basketball season. Just go walk around and explore what is Colorado State University. It's a wonderful campus, beautiful facility. The Laurie Student Center is right there. Just really a fun afternoon. You're not gonna regret it. And if you've got kiddos that are considering going to school, CSU is definitely worth considering. Phenomenal educational program, vet program, business school, engineering, you name it. CSU is definitely a strong school on the West Hemisphere of the western side of the United States. Whew. So there you have it. Now again, that list is by no means exhaustive, because you could go have wonderful baked goods by Amy at the Little Bird Bake Shop that has a new location, or so many different things on the southeast side of town. You can go into Timnath, like I said, go to a semi-pro game at the Windsor Sports, go to Hoedown Hill if you're looking at doing sledding in Windsor. There is no shortage of activities in Fort Collins and Northern Colorado, but this list of 22 is really something that kind of hits at who we are as far as Fort Collins, our open natural areas, Horsetooth Reservoir, our parks, our microbrew scene with the New Belgium and Odell's. So this is definitely something, if you want to come and learn or explore of what Fort Collins is, these 22 items will give you just that. Who is Fort Collins and what is there to do on a daily, weekly, seasonal, summer, spring, fall basis? Now, I appreciate you guys watching. Give it a comment, thumbs up, subscribe if you are not already. And until next time, guys, take care.